Hello everybody, today I wanted to show you my eSignal setup for day trading, and of course you can customize your setup any way you want to. This is just one example from which you may maybe extrapolate an idea or two. I've used other softwares before. The last one before I used eSignal was Metastock. I was satisfied with Metastock. It wasn't that bad. It's just it was very I didn't like it visually, and it's more for people who set up algorithms and things like that. So if you're one of these people, go try out Metastock. Me personally, I like colors and pretty charts and things like that. It kind of gives me this optimistic feeling when I'm trading, and it seems like eSignal seems to be very visually appealing, and so I like eSignal. So you're seeing one of my monitors in front of you, so keep in mind that I have three monitors. This is the middle monitor, so imagine on your left you have a monitor, on the right you have another one, so I will be scrolling left and right, so you'll have to use your sense of imagination for this a little bit. But the middle monitor, of course, is the main one, so this is where your main chart should be, and so my main chart is right here in front of you. It's the largest chart. Obviously you want to pay attention to detail, okay? And so in eSignal is very simple. You just type into this field whatever chart you want to look at. You press enter. Right now I have Bank of America. They have shorthand for the timing of the chart. So I'm looking at a 10-minute time frame. You can just basically type in whatever you want. 30 would have been a 30-minute time frame. D, we can look at a daily chart as well, okay? And all with the press of a button. You just have to press enter, and instantly eSignal gives you a daily chart. But I personally like to look at the 10-minute chart. So this is my main chart right here. I have the volume at the bottom, okay, which is very simple, and I have three moving averages I have set up, and you will see the rest of my charts are kind of like that too. On the right you can attach a trade manager, okay, and connect it to whoever you're using to trade, okay, the feed or whatever company you're using. Right now I just have a demo eSignal paper trading just for the purpose of this video, okay, but eSignal is very easy to trade. Okay? If you wanted to trade, you can just basically set up a line here and just say, okay, I want to trade it at $15 or something else. You just go into trading, and this is what you do. Okay, you can also go from here, from the trade manager. You just basically type in the value. Okay, I want to buy it if it gets to 1440. All you have to do is click on it, okay, and you can just enter the amount of shares you want. Click buy. Okay, you can buy market if you want to, which I don't really recommend, or you can just go back to this chart and have a limit order and just type in I want 1,000 shares or whatever number you want, and this price that you clicked at here, 1440, is already pre-filled for you. Okay, and so eSignal really gives you this shorthand way, really quick way of day trading, which you really need. You need time. You need to do this in the quickest amount of time that you can. So this is my middle monitor, and you'll notice that I'm connecting these the trade manager and the chart by color. And so if you click on these pretty colors, you can connect things. So meaning that if you type in a symbol here, okay, it's also going to connect or change anything else that is green. And so if I wanted to change, from Bank of America, and let's say I want to trade Google as an example, all I have to do is change Google here, and immediately anything else that is green has also changed. So now my 10-minute chart has changed as well. Now on my right monitor, I have a continuation of my charts. And so now I also like to look at the 60-minute chart and the daily. So now, just by typing in Google in one field, I am changing three charts at the same time. And then just since we're here on my right monitor, I also have other charts that I'm watching here. So you can I have a bunch of other charts that I might be trading, okay, but they're not my primary ones, so they're not the Google that I'm looking at right now, but there's something that might be coming up very soon. Okay, so that was my middle chart and then my right chart, and then now we're moving on to the left chart. So my left chart right here has a table okay, of things that I believe are important, things that will tell me overall what's going on in the market. So I have the SPY, Qs, things like that, Dow Jones, the Russell. Then I have the different sectors. So I like to look at the financials first and foremost. So I'm going to have JPM, Bank of America, and so forth. Technology, Apple, obviously, Google, and then you can just customize it to whatever you want. I personally like to trade home builders. To me, home builders are actually um, a really good indicator of what's going on in the market, especially nowadays. So it just goes with whatever your trading style is. So you customize it to work for you. And then here in this field right here, I have kind of my setup for my scalps. So I just have a bunch of different um, symbols that I think I might be trading that day. So if I'm scalping, I will put them in this area right here. So let's say today I might be scalping JPM. It's possible. Let's say that today I have a possibility of scalping JPM. And I might be shorting JPM. So I might be typing in some comments. So you have a comment section right here. So I can just say resistance 57. Okay, it's just a random number. So I have resistance at 57. My charts have told me that it's going to be a really good area to short. Okay, and then what I can do is I can double click and just double click on the symbol and add my alert, which I do very frequently. So now I can just add some alert, in case JPM approaches $57, so that I am told ahead of time that I can go ahead and short it. And so if, for example, we're talking about a short, if it gets at or above $56.60, for example, I will receive an alert. And then when I receive that alert, I will pull up that chart and watch it for that $57 level to short it. You can also play a sound. If, for example, you walk away from the computer so that you can also hear it. If you're not even at the computer but you want to be trading maybe a longer term trade, maybe a swing or something that you might be holding on a day or two or longer, and maybe you're at work or something, you might just send yourself an email, which is also possible. Okay, and you would basically predetermine all these things. Okay, and my message is just very simple. I have the symbol here, which this really stands for the symbol. That would just tell me, and then I would change it for Apple, or excuse me, JPM. So it would tell me resistance coming up, and I would put in $57. And so the alert when it pops up would have been telling me this, and I would know what it's talking about. But basically, on this left monitor, I also have other things that I think are important. I like to watch copper, so I have FCX up. Then the SPY chart, very important. I like to look at the dollar or the UUP chart at the same time as the SPY, because there is an inverse relationship between those two, more or less, so I use them for confirmation. Then I have that account manager again, and this would have been telling me if I placed a trade correctly or if there was a problem, so I would be actually connected to Interactive Brokers or whoever you're using to make sure that my trade is actually placed. And here my alerts would have been displayed, so maybe if I miss an alert, I can still see it here, okay, which of course is blank now. I don't have any alerts, but it would have shown up here. And then here I have any news that are connected to the chart that I am connecting to this green color. Okay, so if I wanted to trade JPM, I would have been seeing news here as well. So even though I might be trying to short JPM at $57, I want to make sure that they didn't just have a news conference that told me that their revenue is up by 80%, right? You don't want to short when you have news like that out. And so you always should be watching the news. They're not your primary reason why you buy or sell, but you should always make sure that you know what's going on with the company. So this is overall what's going on with my eSignal. So here's my my middle monitor, and then my right or third monitor is right here. But as if that wasn't enough, because you know us day traders, we basically need a lot of information. I can actually change tabs. And so I have 3 tabs that I'm looking at simultaneously. The one I showed you is my main tab, which is really what I'm looking at most of the time. But then I have these Scalps 1 and Scalps 2 tabs. And they're just basically extra charts that I might be looking at. And so, it's very difficult to find really good setups, so you don't really want to be looking at one company and just hope that that company is going to give you a good setup. You want to be looking at, anywhere from about 30 to maybe 60 charts at the same time, 60 companies. So it just depends on, how professional you are and what kind of resources you have. But I basically have these guys set up, and so this is already predetermined for me before I even open up my eSignal. So I have these companies that I trade frequently, and their symbols are already typed in here, and I'm already determining that I want to look at the 10-minute chart. Okay, and so they have their own little charts, and I can basically follow that. And if I see some sort of pattern developing, I will then go back to my main screen and type in that symbol and research further. Okay, but this is just kind of how it looks, and it's a bunch of different charts. It's a lot of different charts. Okay, so don't let it intimidate you, because most of them you will not trade because you won't find the setup. And this is really just a couple of seconds of work to just determine whether something is a good setup or not. So it's not like you're putting in a lot of time looking at each each screen. So this one, for example, that has Goldman Sachs all the way to Lennar here, this would just be basically 15 seconds of work to just look at each chart and determine if there's anything developing here. Now, if you kind of paid attention to my charts a little bit, you will notice that some of them are organized in a specific manner. So I have my financials together, so Goldman Sachs, um, Bank of America, and Morgan Stanley, and all these different things are together, and they're purple. So I have them color coded. I just like it that way. You don't necessarily have to color code them. I just prefer my charts like that. Then my retailers, Walmart, Costco, Target, they're together and they have a white background. My home builders, Toll, Lennar, have this violet color. And so I'm just, basically doing that, just having them color coded, having a little bit of fun with my charts, because that's what I like to do. And if this is something that you might be doing, by all means try it. Maybe it helps you, if nothing else, just putting in these similar companies will help you as well, because even though you might be trying to trade McDonald's, right? Well, maybe you want to look at something similar to McDonald's. Look at its competitors to see if they're showing you the same patterns. Maybe they're going to show you an even better pattern. Okay, so I hope that this video has helped you and that you can maybe pick up an idea or two. If you have any questions about eSignal, by all means send me an email. You can find me at tradethesetalks.com.